Okay, I talk things out much easier. So creatine first. So creatine monohydrate, it's been studied for over 100 years now. It's one of the supplements with the most data behind it, both in terms of like the benefits, but also knowing that people have been taking it for upwards of 50, years. You've got individuals like myself. I've been taking creatine monohydrate pretty much daily for, I want to say at least 15 years. So we have the data that shows, both short-term and long-term side effects. There are no negative side effects to creatine monohydrate. The other thing is that the positive benefits, the longer you study something, the more positive benefits come out of that. So what we're seeing is things like obviously fat loss, muscle growth, maintaining muscle mass as we age, which is huge. Somebody like me who's getting closer to 40, who's been training for 20 years. You want to do things to kind of reduce the amount of muscle mass you lose as you age. So that would be one of the benefits of creatine monohydrate. Increased power output, just increased in total volume of lean body mass. So like increasing the size of your muscles, right? Things like strengthening bone, because you have more muscle mass, then you can, put more stress on your bones, which makes them grow. But also shifting towards things like improving cognitive function. So your brain uses a lot of creatine. The thing about creatine monohydrate or any type of creatine supplement is that the whole purpose is to increase the available amount of creatine in your body. Creatine is one of the substrates we use to create energy through ATP synthesis. So when you're using energy, you need ATP. And in order to do that, in simplest of forms, we need to take ADP, which is adenosine diphosphate, and a phosphate, and pair them together to make ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate. So if you have more phosphate available via creatine phosphate, you can replace energy faster, which then allows you to, move quicker, train harder, train longer, and also your brain is one of the systems in your body that uses the most energy. So if you think about like your brain uses like 20% of your calories, that means it's constantly turning over energy. It's very energy demanding, which means that if you can provide more creatine, specifically creatine phosphate, then you can allow the body to produce more energy. So it improves brain function in normal people as well as we age. It can maybe possibly reduce the symptoms of things like dementia and Alzheimer's, as well as there's a little bit of research in things like traumatic brain injury. So supplementing creatine monohydrate in those scenarios may improve outcomes. So again, you want to go to literature and kind of look and see what the benefits are to taking these supplements. But in the most basic sense, there is no downside and there's plenty of positives. The other thing is like most people don't experience any acute side effects either. So once you start taking it, you're not going to notice anything. Like you shouldn't notice any negatives. There are some discrepancies between like should you load and should you just start taking a serving a day. Loading just allows your body to saturate faster, so you get the effects quicker. Saying that if you don't load and you take maybe 5 grams a day instead of 15 grams a day or 20 grams a day, whatever the loading dose is, you're going to get to the same point. It's just going to take you 3 or 4 weeks to get there. So some people might find that they have like stomach cramps or bloating when they load. So you just skip the loading, you just take it 5 grams a day every day, and you get the same effect. Again, you're not going to notice the effects of creatine monohydrate or any supplement that actually works because these effects are slow and cumulative. So that means that like the benefit of taking creatine monohydrate comes months and years after taking it, where if you compare two people, one person that didn't take it and one person that did, the person that did would be stronger, faster, have all the benefits of taking it versus the person that didn't. But you're not going to notice the difference like in training being like, oh, I really feel that creatine. So that's the thing to keep in mind. But again, it's cheap. It's easy to make. Again, the products that I sell, creatine monohydrate, it's just one ingredient. So again, very safe. You don't have any additives, any sweeteners, any flavors, any fillers. It's just one ingredient. The other thing to keep in mind is there's different types of creatine monohydrate. Different types of creatine. There's creatine what is there? Creatine hold on, I can't remember the different types now, but there's creatine monohydrate, but then there's all these other ones like Purple K, different, capsules, different powders, all that kind of stuff. The thing you want to remember is that in order to sell something, they got to make it sexy, they got to make it fun. So they'll change things even though they don't need to be changed. Again, a new model, to sell more of it. The reality is you don't need anything crazier than creatine monohydrate. That's why that's all I sell with my products. And it's the cheapest one. So again, you could pay double and get, something fancy. You're not getting any benefit, and you might actually be getting less useful product. So that's the things to keep in mind with creatine monohydrate. Again, 3 to 5 grams a day for the rest of your life. If you forget for a couple days, it doesn't matter. Just start again. You don't have to load it. You just take it when you remember. There's times where I've run out and I've gone, a month or two without. Not a big deal. It takes about a month for you to go back to baseline. So again, if you're supplementing it for a few months and you forget, you can go weeks without taking it and you'll still get the effect. It's about a month later, you go kind of back to your baseline in terms of your creatine stores. So then you would go back to supplementing it. And some people will actually cycle it in that, they just might find it better where they take it, a few months and then they take a couple weeks off, take it a few months, couple weeks off. That's not going to give you any advantage other than it might save you $1 a year, because again, I sell a 3-month serving package for like $20, right? So like it's a very cheap product. So I hope that helps with creatine monohydrate. Any questions on that, just let me know.